Yo, what's going on everyone? My name is James and welcome back to another video in my Discord bot tutorial series. Today I'm going to be going over how to send a daily message in your Discord server using the bot that we've been working on the past two videos. So if you haven't seen my past two videos, I highly recommend watching them before going to this one. Otherwise, this might not make a lot of sense. But yeah, let's get right into it. So first thing you're going to want to do is npm install cron. This is what we're going to be using to send the daily message. It's a JavaScript or a Node.js package, and I'll also link the documentation down in the description below if you want to check it out. So first, let's go ahead and do. We could make a new folder, but for now I'm just gonna put it in the root. Let's call it CRON.js, just for testing purposes. So at the very top, what we're gonna do is do a require statement, const cron job equals require cron, which we just installed. And then we're gonna do a function here. We're gonna call it start cron job, and we're gonna make it a function because we're gonna want to call it from another file, specifically the index. So that way, every time we start the bot, we will run this function. Yeah, so client and then the channel ID. The channel ID is going to be the text-based channel that you want to send this message in your Discord. So we're going to do const job equals new cron job and parentheses. And then what we're going to do right here is this is how often or what time you want to send this message. So for testing purposes, we're just going to put 5 asterisks here. That's going to make it send the message every minute. And I'm going to show you a little bit later how to set this up so it sends at a specific time, like 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 5 p.m., 8 p.m. But we will do that in just a minute here. So let's continue with the start cron job function, which we're going to put an async function inside of it, like so. And we're going to do const channel equals await client.channels.fetch channel ID. So we're going to make sure that this channel that we feed it in the index actually exists. So if it exists and it's not a voice channel, then we will continue. And we're going to channel.send cron job ran in a text-based channel. And we're going to check for that because you might accidentally right-click, because voice channels have like IDs too. So you might accidentally click a voice channel instead of a text channel. So if you do, no worries. We will just send an error. Console.error channel not found or not text-based. So that's what this fetch function is doing. It's taking the bot, looking at the channels that it has access to, and trying to look for this channel ID that we're going to feed it. So that's what that's doing. A couple more things here. We're going to add a comma there, and then we're going to add a couple parameters. We're going to do null, true, and these aren't that important, but this one is the main one you want to worry about. It's a time zone, which is going to hook up with this one right here, this line. So what I'm going to do is America-New York. And that's going to be for Eastern Standard Time. So that works for me, but for you, you might put something like Los Angeles for Pacific Time, or maybe another city for like Central Time or whatever time zone you're in. In the documentation that I linked below, it should tell you like every city you can put or something like that. But I'm sure it has every big city for the time zones. But yeah, moving on. I think we're pretty much done with this function. Now we're just going to return the job. and we're going to export it. So that way we can call it in another function, or call it in another class. Okay, that's all good. Now we're gonna go to index, go to the top, and then we're gonna do const, what should we call it? Oh, right, start cron job equals require, and then that file that we just made, which is in our root, cron.js. And this is the file that we just, or this is the function we just made, and we're just receiving it because this file is exporting it. So like so is good. And then we're gonna put it down here in our client.once because this is logging in to our bot. So once it's logged in, then we're going to do this. So first we'll put the channel ID here equals, and then put it as a string, and then under that we're going to do start cron job. We're going to call that function, and we're going to do feed it the client and the channel ID. And that client, you remember from the first episode, is up here that we created, and the channel ID is just right here, which I'm going to grab that right now. So I'm in my bot test 6 channel, and I'm going to right click, go to the bottom, copy channel ID, head back over here, and then I'm going to paste it right back there. So that works. That should, yeah, that should be good. Hopefully we get no errors. Let's clear and do node index. So every minute it should run the cron job function, and it'll send cron job ran in a text-based channel. And if I did something wrong, then it'll say channel not found or not text-based. Let's see. Nothing is sent yet, but it is 9:10, so let's see what happens at 9:11. Okay, awesome. So it says 9:10, but that's because it sends like the millisecond before 9:11. So that's why it says 9:10 here, but it's sent at 9:11 basically. So that's awesome. It's gonna keep doing that until we turn off the bot. So I'm just gonna cancel it right there. And if we want this to send at a specific time, since we have it on New York time, we can do, so if you want to send it at 10 a.m., you'll put a 10 here and you'll put a 00 right there. If you want to send it at 10 p.m., you have to do military time, so it would be 2200. So 22 here and 00 for the minutes. Now for my case, if I want to send it at 9:12 p.m., I'm going to have to do 21 and do a 12 here. So let me save it real quick, run it again, and see if we can get it to send at 9:12, which it should. And awesome, it sent right at 9:12. So that's it for the basics of this, the cron job. I'm going to show you how to take this like a step further and send some information from like an API request. All right, so now I'm gonna show you how to incorporate the command we made last video into this video. So the one I'm talking about is uselessfact.js. So if you wanna have your bot send a useless fact every day at, let's say, 2:00 p.m. EST, I'm just gonna change this real quick to 14, because 24-hour clock, 14 is 2. So 2, let's say 15, and I'll change it later if need be, and I can remove this now. So I'm just gonna need to change this file a little bit, and then I'm gonna change the useless fact file a little bit as well, restructure it. But yeah, just to get right into it, we changed this to 215, and we're also gonna need to import the function from the useless fact file. So that's the fetch random fact function, and it's going to require that file for us to access it. So it's in our commands folder, and it's called uselessfact.js. So that should be good. And now we can go down here, and what we're going to change is we're going to add a try catch block, and we're going to add it right here. So let's do try, And then we're just gonna add all of this into our try block. So let me just tab this in real quick so it looks better. Okay. And then let's add the catch part too so it stops yelling at us. Catch the error. Alright. So now we are in our try block, and we have our const channel await, and then we have our if channel check, and then inside this we're going to do, I'm also going to remove this for now. Inside here we're going to do if, well, not yet, we're going to do const fact equals await fetch random fact. So we're just gonna wait on that function to run until we continue past here. So if we do get a fact after that function finishes, then we're gonna send it. Await channel.send and the fact. I could actually just put it like that. Send the fact. And if we don't get a fact, then we'll just put this in the log that no fact was received. And then in the else block, channel not found or not text-based, that's still good because that's if this fails. And then in our catch the error block, we're just gonna do a simple console.error. And it's just gonna say, we'll do just cron job error, and then we'll just send the message, or send the error. We don't need a comma. Let's do that. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think that's all we needed to change here, but we have to change a little bit more in our useless fact function. The first thing we have to do is we have to move our export statement below the function, just because of the way that JavaScript works. It goes from top to bottom, and because of what we're adding, we're going to need to have the exports at the bottom. Okay, so at the top, fetch random fact, async interaction. We're also going to have an equals null here, and what that does is it's possible now for us to call this function without doing the command. So this is going to be calling the function right here, and that's not a command, so there's no interaction. So if we don't have an interaction, we're just going to have it default to null. And yeah, asynchronous arrow function. So we're in our try block here, and then we're just gonna check if there is an interaction. If this was user initiated, then we're going to just edit that message that we initially sent. Else, we don't really need an else, but if you want to put an else, you can just for testing purposes, we can just do I don't know, console log message, and that'll just send the random fact to our console. And then we're gonna return the random fact as well, because return random fact, and this is mostly because, oops, don't let it autocorrect. Okay, and we're returning the random fact because since we're calling it in here, we're waiting for a response. So this is going to give us that response, and that return, this random fact, this right here, is going to be equal to this here in this file. Okay, so in our catch error, we're gonna keep the error, and then we're gonna do also add if it was an interaction, Then we'll add this here, which will edit that reply. And then otherwise we'll just return null. And as for the module.exports, what we're gonna do is just add await fetch random fact here and interaction. And we're gonna change this up a little bit. And we're gonna do fetch random fact. And basically what this is doing down here is that makes this function callable from other functions that are requiring this file. So now that's done, that should be everything we needed to fix in there. So I'm just gonna run this real quick. We might get an error or two. Hopefully not though. Let's see. Okay, it looks good so far. I'm gonna go into Discord and I'm gonna do useless fact just to make sure that still works. Fetching random fact, and I got the random fact. Okay, so the command part still works. That is great. And now over in the cron job, I'm gonna change this to, because now it's 217. So I'll do 218 real quick, restart really quickly. Okay. So now at 218, we should just get an automatic message in here. Oops, it might not be the right channel. Hold on. I'm gonna go to index because I made a new channel since, okay. There we go. And hopefully it'll send a message into this channel by itself without being initiated. And there we go. It just sent the message by itself. Any free moving liquid in outer space will form itself into a sphere because of its surface tension. Okay, pretty cool. So yeah, that's how you can use like API requests with cron to like send a daily like message or whatever. You can send like a daily weather report if you want with the other API that we went over. You can send like fun facts. You can send whatever you want every day at like a specific time. You could just do it every minute, every 30 minutes, whatever you want. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Hopefully this was pretty clear. If you have any troubles with this, just let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to help you. And anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys later.